I'm sure you've got somewhere at home where you've got a light that can be turned on or off from two different places. Maybe that's upstairs and downstairs. You've got a light on the landing, or maybe as you come in the back door, there's a light switch beside the door, but another one on the way out of the room that comes into. So we can have one light controlled by two different switches in two different places. How can we do that? Here I've got a simple circuit with just a power supply and a single bulb. And if I have two switches, how can I put them into a circuit that's going to work in a way that will allow us to control the light from two different places? So here I've got two switches. Let's see, can we make a circuit that works? First of all, let's try putting the switches in series. So I'll get rid of this long wire. So now I've got a single circuit, one series loop. Now the test for whether this works or not is that if I push one switch, it should come on, and push the other switch, it should turn off. So let's do this first. Well, we can see that the bulb does not light. If I try the other switch, still doesn't light. But if I try both switches, I need both switches to turn it on. Why is that? Because even with one switch closed, there's still a break in the circuit with the other one. We need to complete the circuit by closing both switches. So having our switches set up like this will not work. Let's try setting the switches up in parallel. So we've now got two switches in parallel, and they can be quite a distance from one another, like upstairs and downstairs. So if I push this switch, circuit lights. Great. Let's try this switch. This one also turns the light on. But the test is, can they both work at the same time? These switches are different from the switches that you'd have at home, because whenever you push a switch at home for your lights, the switch will stay closed or stay open, whereas we have to push it and hold it down. So if I turn the light on here, what we want is for the light to turn off when we push the other switch. And that has no effect. So this is not our solution. What we've got here is, no matter which switch I push, it will complete a circuit. So here, if I go this way, through here, there's a complete circuit. If I push here, here's my complete circuit. Pushing two switches doesn't break the circuit. So this is not going to be a suitable setup. So how can we set up a light switch or two light switches in two different places that are both going to have an effect on the light? And the trick is, we need a different sort of switch. We need what's called a two-way switch. And this is an example of a two-way switch. Now, what we've got are three terminals, one common terminal that's always going to be connected, and two to the other side. And this bit can pivot from there to there. This is a bit like your light switch at home, where you can have the switch in the down position or the up position. And whenever it's going up, these two terminals are connected. When it goes down, these two terminals are connected. Now, I could have it sitting like that, but we can't really do that with your light switch at home. You can't balance a light switch between two different positions at home. So the only valid positions for this sort of switch are that way or that way. Let's see if we can build up a circuit that uses two of these to control our light. So I'm going to get rid of the normal switches. So for our two light switches, there are two-way switches, and we're going to have one, let's say, upstairs and one down the stairs. And let's see how we can connect those up. I mentioned that we always have to connect into this central or common terminal. I'll use a longer wire. And we need 2 more wires that are going to connect these switches. One is going to go here, and the other is going to go there. And we can spread these out so that they're either end of our corridor or up and down the stairs. So here the light's off, and that's because on this side the switch is in the down position. So it's making a connection here. But here this switch is in the up position, and so there's a break there. So if I flick one switch, our light comes on. If I flick it back, it comes off. Let's see what happens if I flick our other switch. Now it goes on and off. So we can see that either switch is going to turn it on or off. Can they both work alternately? So if I turn this one on, the test of whether this works is if I turn this down, it should go off. In this case, it does. Back on and off. Downstairs, turn the light on. Upstairs, turn the light off. So I've got 2 parallel conductors, and by flicking the switch, I'm going to make a connection either to the top conductor or the bottom conductor. So these are known as 2-way switches. This was a regular 1-way switch, just makes and breaks. Whereas this can make there and break there, or vice versa. And the light switches that you have at home are actually probably all really like this, a 2-way switch. Normally we just disconnect the bottom section for a regular light that only has one switch controlling it. It is possible to have 3 switches controlling a single light, but that uses a third type of switch that we're not going to worry about.